Yes. Okay, welcome to the new moon live stream. This is the new moon that's the new moon is definitely live, but today the moon is new in the sign of Scorpio. That's why we're gathered. If you've been tuning in, then you know the story with these things, which is, oh crap, hold on, sorry. Oh dear. If you've been tuning in, you know the story with these things, which is that we gather every couple weeks to do a new moon and full moon live stream so that you can harness fully the power of the moment, the power of the new moon / full moon, whichever one it is. Today it is a new moon in Scorpio. So we gather so that, you know, the Gregorian calendar is just like a little fucked. 365 and a quarter days, like what? The actual cycles of time move with the sun and the moon. The sun every, month or so changes signs, and the moon every 2 weeks. It goes from full to new. So the cycles of the moon going from new moon to full moon takes 2 weeks, another 2 weeks back to new. So we are starting a new lunar cycle today. We're starting a new lunar cycle with a new moon in Scorpio. The way that these streams work is that we give you a little astro update that's totally intuitive because we are an astrologer last, but find that the stars and the astrology provide useful tools and useful ways of kind of understanding the shit that's already going on that we're working with. That's Blue Medicine Buddha back there. He brings all of the goodness for everything that ails you. So if you like Blue Medicine Buddha back there, open your heart to them and they will give you mana for your Pana. Okay, so we're going to give you astro update readings through all of the elements of ether, earth, air, water, and fire. Those are going to be card pulls, and then we'll rally up at the end and give you some suggestions for a little ritual that you could do to harness the power of this new moon situation. Yeah, so, okay, that's my guide. It's like, ding, 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 it's time to go. So, astrologically, if you've been following for a minute, if you haven't, go to EdibleSpirit.com, join the mailing list, YouTube.com/EdibleSpirit, follow so that you can join these things, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, @EdibleSpirit. Thank you. If you've been following, you know that the predominant thing that we're dealing with this fall is Venus retrograde. That is going on for another 10 days or so until the 16th, and then we go into Mercury retrograde. So we've got a pretty sweet read on this now, which is that, again, like the minutia and the details, my minutia and the details of astrology can be annoying and depressing and make me not want to listen to anything, especially astrology. So we try to make it simple without dumbing it down. So Mars retrograde was the whole summer. Venus retrograde is the majority of the fall. As soon as Venus goes direct on the 16th, the very next day, the 17th, Mercury goes retrograde. So we go from Mars, the planet of aggression, to Venus, the planet of attraction, Mars, the planet of action, right? To Venus, the planet of attraction, to Mercury, the planet of the mind. So all through the summer, we learned about doing. All through the fall, we're learning about vibrating and attracting. And then as soon as we hit the 17th, we start to really process, whether we want to or not, we start to really, really process intellectually in our minds what we've learned, okay? Today, at the moment of the new moon, which is when the new moon is tomorrow morning at 8:01. So we try to do these like a day or two before so that you can rally up and get into the zone and be broadcasting whatever you take from these transmissions to you and yours and your people and whoever's listening to you. Because if it's true, it's true. And if it's useful, it's useful. And if it's useful and true, then it's loving, and then things change. So, at the moment that the sun and the moon are lined up in the sky, new moon, tomorrow morning at 8:01, there is also an opposition between Venus and Uranus in the sky, okay? Opposite, across from each other. And that's the Venus retrograde. So Venus has been retrograde in Scorpio, which is also where this new moon is, right? And Scorpio is the sign of depth and death and sex, and not just like sex, like, like mergy, dissolving from the one into the other sex, right? So Scorpio, I'm a Scorpio. So Whatever happens in Scorpio goes all the way to the depths. Whatever happens in Scorpio gets really fucking deep. Venus retrograde teaching us about what we're vibrating, what we're attracting, about order, about balance, about beauty, about not order in terms of like a Virgoan way of like meticulousness, but order in terms of like harmony. So believe it or not, the events of the last, like 6 months even, but especially the last 6 weeks or so, have been causing so many of us to confront one of the most important things about Venus and Scorpio. It's getting to the bottom of our sense of self-worth or our sense of worthlessness. So it's like Scorpio is that energy that goes like all the way to below the grundle, right? And the Venus stuff is about like, who am I? What is valuable, right? Venus is associated with Taurus. What's valuable? What matters? What's important to me? What are my priorities? What are my values? Things that we consider when we vote, hopefully. You know, what are my values? What are my priorities? What do I believe in? So one can even look at the larger collective framework of Venus retrograde as kind of getting the body of the United States or even the body of the whole globe in touch with its true values, in touch with what matters to it most. And by it, I mean all of us, right? We're all dealing with what fucking matters, what is important, what is valuable. But in order to process what's valuable and what's important, Venus retrograde in Scorpio is taking us to the very base of our sense of worth or our sense of worthlessness, okay? Great, thank you. So opposite that Venus retrograde in Scorpio energy is Uranus retrograde. It's just kicked back in, or it will have just kicked back into Aries by the morning. Again, blah, blah, blah. Basically, Uranus brings insight. And when Uranus retrograde is happening, it's like, where is our resistance to dramatic change? Or what have we missed that we need to kind of go over again to have like an aha moment in order to like get some insight, get a shock, get a transformation, a change, something super spiritual, something like Krapal, like a thunderbolt in our consciousness that teaches us about our worth or worthlessness, whether we fucking want it or not. That's the thing about the retrograde. It's like if you can try to swim against the current, but the current's going backwards. So if you're trying to move forward, you're literally going against the current. And the whole point here is there's this beautiful dance where the Venus and whatever it's teaching us about the depths of our truth and the depths of our values and the depths of our worth and the depths of our worthlessness. Also came up in the last moon reading and also last week. It's like, the depths of our power, okay? Where is our power, right? Where is our power? And this is, oh God, see, you can't make this shit up. I didn't prepare this. This is really cool. So where is the depth of our power? Where is the base of our power? And the theory here is that we might have, you know, an assessment, an understanding, right, an intellectual understanding of what our powers are and like what we're good at and what we can do and whatever. But the theory is that the Venus retrograde in Scorpio takes us to the places where we're worthless, to the shadows, right, to the corners, to the nooks and crannies, so that we can embrace that worthlessness and turn it into our superpower, turn it into our power. So this is what we've been advising our clients and ourselves all week, is like, the Venus retrograde is going to take you to the base of your worthlessness. So many people feeling depressed, anxious, some people feeling really great, P.S., because they get to the depths of that worthlessness and they turn it into worth, turn it into value. So example, like oh gosh, no example. Just I'm going to try, I want to give you a personal example, but let's just see what comes through. If you get it, if like your impatience and frenetic energy, right, is what you end up confronting when you get to the bottom of yourself, like, why do I feel this way all the time? It might be that you actually have an urgent sense of change, right? I was really depressed. I was depressed all week. And I was trying to run away from the depression, but instead I went deeper into the feelings, further into the feelings, further into the sadness, until I hit core shame, until I hit like a core space of, you are fucking fucked up, you fucking piece of fucking shit, right? And I was like, I don't believe that. That's not true. So in the end, it's like, I didn't believe the depths of my worthlessness, but because I was able to expose myself to the worthlessness and honor it for what it is, and that's what we've been saying about Venus retrograde this whole time, honor the inner work, even if it seems like it's not causing outer changes, right? Really honor the inner work, even if it seems like it's not causing outer changes. Let's see, YouTubers, I hope you can hear me. We just had to switch the mic. So the whole point is that when you're honoring that inner work and going, wow, I feel this way, this is the lowest that I can possibly feel, that's when you hit Uranus retrograde. And it's like, oh, if I take this moment to observe my deficiency, I can turn it into an efficiency or a super efficiency. I can just expose myself to this pain or to this sadness or to this value or feeling of valuelessness. And in so doing, I do some healing and some integration and some loving. And I basically, that's all very high-minded. It can yield such great insight like Uranus retrograde. But the main point is that you do this work so that you can be a voice for other people that are trying to do this work, right? You find your worth and your value so that in a moment where there's a lot of people that are really freaked out, we don't know what's going to happen, right? Today, tonight, this week, in the next year. It's like, no matter what's going on politically, circumstantially, existentially in the world around us, like our inner evolution still keeps going. We're all trying to make it. We're all trying to survive. We're all trying to do this stuff. So the whole point of it is to not actually focus on crazy outer events. Show up for those crazy outer events, but do the inner work that allows you to show up for these outer events with more love, and with more acceptance and with more inclusion for whomever is on your side or for whomever is not on your side, for whomever you think you are or used to be, or for whomever you are becoming, right? Face it, own it, love it. Because the theory of the new moon in Scorpio is that the next month becomes an opportunity to not just fucking annoyingly discover all of this power, but to really like embody it and merge with it and like, like I'm powerful, right? But not because I'm a fucking asshole. I'm powerful because I've done the work to turn my powerlessness into something powerful. Oh, girl. I mean, I could keep going all day. It's hard when I don't see comments to let me know if this is oh, wait, there's one. So thank you. Oh, creator. So on point. Okay, good. Because it's a channel. So when this channel fucking moves, we just ride with it and we give it to you. And we try to make sense of it later. Yeah, my guides are saying that's enough for now. Let me just show you this picture of my hot dad and his brother. That's my dad. Oh, it's glossy, but that's my dad. That's his brother. That's my dad. That's his brother. They're all amazing. Okay, now we're going to step into a realm of the tarot. So if you don't know, and if you're tuning in for the first time, you guys, I do all of this digital content for you to offer you invisible support, you know, energetic insight, so that you can be your own healer, so that you can be your own guide. We also do these weekly readings for you that are called the Elements of Spirit, that are through the elements of ether, earth, air, water, and fire. We do those with video readings we do every week. When we do these tarot readings, that's how we run it. We do an ether card for everybody, and then we do the air, fire, water, and earth for the sun signs that are associated with those elements. So stick with me, I'll get to you. The first card is for everyone, and then we'll go into the elements, the sun signs grouped by element, okay? But also, if you don't know, well, we do private sessions as well, mostly on Skype these days. But if we're in New York or LA or wherever we are, we're happy to do sessions in person. But in Gen, it's like, it's more of a digital situation lately, because we're trying to digitize so that we can reach you more easily and effectively, and so that we can start to build community talking amongst one another. Because, you know, having been doing this work for about 10 years now, it's trippy how easy it is to lose track of what you're working on, what you're manifesting, what you're vibing with. And it's also very easy when you go dancing in these elemental realms, or even really just working on yourself emotionally and mentally, you can lose it. You can forget what you're doing. And if you don't have community, it's a lot of times hard to have a context for your own journey, for your own struggle, hard to have a reflection. So we try to do this to offer some reflection, some insight into what you're doing, and ultimately to just help you keep doing the good work that you're doing in this world, okay? So now, readings. We'll see if there's anything else. But these are going to be for how to best harness this lunation, how to embody it, how to work with it, how to channel it, for all of the elements. Ether first, and then we'll go into the individual elements. Ooh, girl, okay. Excuse me, hold on. Who fell? Wow, I mean, this is significant. We have to do this because, wow, okay, this is the way that they fell. Ace of Worlds says that there's new stuff happening, right? Oh, my pleasure, my love. Three of Cups says there's a good feeling, but it's new, it's innocent, it's chill. This is not, these are just the cards that fell out. I think this is, yeah, see, time, space, things are already changing. Things have already changed. This has been a theory of ours for a little while. If you've been following, you might know this. The theory is that the only reason the baby dick dinosaurs are panicking is because the new world is already here, because everything's actually already changed. This is true about death, right? My theory is that when something dies, we actually process it all at once, and then it takes the rest of life and the rest of the body and the mind and the heart to kind of catch up to what the awareness has already clocked fundamentally. And I think that's what's already happened. I think everything has already changed. But now we have to show up and do our civic duty, right? To make sure that it changes legally and practically and circumstantially. But it makes sense that there would be such bucking and wilding out because the old order has already died, you know? And I haven't been making predictions about this election, but I can say to you right now, because it's coming through the channel, and I can honor that no matter what happens today, no matter what happens this week, things have already changed. And especially if anything gets worse, we're all just going to have to fight harder and with more love. So change has already come. Change is not coming. It's already come. Okay, now we're going to go into the readings, as we said, for you. The element of ether, how best to harness this and channel this. Oh, the final thing that showed up was the Ace of Cups, which is a very beautiful thing that just is like an overabundance of good feeling. Okay, so the best way for us to work with this lunation, whether we are earth, air, water, or fire, is this lovely card that's called the Child of Wands. This is from the Voyager deck. I can't remember who made this deck, but I love it. It's beautiful photo collages. And oh, cool. It's the Seeker reversed. And this is very magical, you guys. Oh, I love this. Okay, so the Seeker. Oh, man. You know, I don't know if it's Addie or Karen watching from the Dragon and the Rose, but y'all, we need to bring back not like goddess circles, but like active and actual vocal goddess worship. Not in terms of goddess forms, but in terms of the mother and the goddess, because this has been a part of our spiritual lineage for a long time, but we forget to mention it. So let's keep talking about that, okay? But now, what's really super cool about this, so the card is called the Seeker, and the Child of Wands implies someone who's on like a quest, like a vision quest, a walkabout. And the whole idea is that you're supposed to go into the wilderness and get lost in the wilderness until you find your spirit animal, until you contact your soul, until you find your power, until you get some sort of spiritual illumination from your journey. It's reversed here. So again, remember, this is this lunation for the next couple of weeks. So what it says is, it says, you are the seeker, but don't seek so hard. We're all the seeker, but stop fucking looking. What that means to me is it's right here. It's right here, right? It's right here. We don't have to keep looking. There's something else in this, which is like, we can do all the yoga and drink all the kale juice and, you know, do all the acupuncture and whatnot. But if you're not present for what's actually going on, then you are indicating a spiritual practice and not necessarily living a spiritual life, right? Like one kind gesture is much more important than, you know, endless certifications or accreditations. Love you, mama. So the whole point of this Child of Wands is to say, The work is here. And for at least the next 2 weeks, the work is right fucking here. It's right here. It says to us that no matter what happens on the election today, no matter what goes down in the US, and let's face it, you guys, whatever happens in the US affects the world. That's not like a United States megalomania. It's literally just like how the whole globe is fucking rigged. You know, it has this major connection. So the theory is that whatever happens right now, we're all going to have to keep processing it, right? When things are going down, you can sort of think about it, sort of talk about it, sort of clock it. But like once this election is over, we're going to be in a new territory. Wherever we are, that is where we are. And then we're all going to have to do a lot of processing, right? The end of those 2 years marks the beginning of the next 2 years, right? In terms of that one cycle that we're tracking. And so the theory is that like, we want to be on our spiritual paths and be doing our dharma. And like I said, be learning the stuff that we're learning. But another way to do this is to say like, don't go Sagittarius on us. You don't need to go hunting. You don't need to go, you know, diving. You don't need to go off very far. The point is to go in and stick around. To go in and stick around, right? To be present where you are and be present where you are inside and present in the world around you outside, and just kind of like leave. Sagittarius represents like long, far-flung journeys and great spiritual education or higher education. So the idea is like, don't even make it that complicated. Let it be basic, remedial, and close to home energetically, so to speak, okay? So keep it tight, keep it close. This is for everyone, all signs, all elements. Now we move into the air signs, which include Libra, Aquarius, and Gemini. How best for y'all to harness this moment? Okay, so the Four of Cups comes up. And the Four of Cups says, find security, stability, and balance in your anger, right? The card's called anger. So it's saying for you guys, the best way to use this Venus retrograde and kind of to use this new moon and the Venus retrograde opposite Uranus retrograde is to use the lunation and the power from the new moon and the depths of Scorpio to hunt your anger. Libra, Gemini, Aquarius, hunt your anger. Follow the things that make you angry. Follow the things that piss you off. Those are the things which will likely have oppressed you, and those are the places where you're going to mine and distill your new power. Okay? Hunt your anger, air signs. Okay. Into the fire signs. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. What do y'all need to do? Okay. In your case, fire signs, chill a little bit. Enjoy yourselves ever so slightly. You know, really, well, the card is called fulfillment, right? It's the Nine of Cups. It's lots of happiness. It can be a little crunk in love, right? It's not necessarily just like moderation. It can sometimes be a little bit of excess. So the theory here, the way we're reading into it is to focus on what you have. Focus on your abundance. Focus on the glass half full and not half empty. And the best way that you're going to get at the insights that you need to sort of find the depths of your power in the Scorpio lunation is to affirm what you already have, right? To affirm where you already have more than enough and to express gratitude for that and use that affirmation as the foundation for your superpower, right? As the foundation for your excellence. So again, I hope you're with me on this because we've all got to go through a little bit of transformation right now. But on the other side of that transformation is totally a word that's connected to Scorpio. We've got to go through this transformation, and on the other side, we should have more power, aka more love for ourselves because we've integrated something that was separate, because we've been grateful for something, fulfillment instead of disappointed or stingy or bummed or withholding. And the theory is that on the other side of it, we'll have more power, more love for ourselves because we've done that integration. So then we can share that love with others. And like we said, focus not on where we need to go, but on where we are, on what to some extent on what just happened, but really more so what is happening inside of us. Okay, so stay present and stay grateful, stay positive. Okay, next Vasa signs, the signs of the water. We're in the water element, which includes Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. How best for us in Scorpio to harness and channel this power. Wow. Interesting, you guys. It's all cups thus far, except for the first one. So for us, it's the 5 of Cups. The card here is called Disappointment. And this says for Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces, the appropriate action to harness the power of this new moon is mourning and grieving. And that requires feeling sadness. And it requires feeling deep sadness. Want to tell you guys something because it's been coming up with people who have felt depressed, but almost like the feelings aren't their own. We did an episode on of That's So Retrograde with our homegirls a while ago that was all about pain. I can't remember what the episode's called, but it was very fierce. I think it might actually be on EdibleSpirit.com under like the media section. But the whole point is that there's this weird thing where we live these lives where we try to tell ourselves that the pain that we're feeling has nothing to do with them, or that someone who's going through something terrible doesn't really affect us, right? But the truth is we're all connected. So when, our brother in, Pakistan hurts, like it affects our bodies too, right? Because we're all together, we're all one body, we're all one being, humanity, right? One human being. So the theory of this is that when we mourn, when we face our grief, we kind of got to plug into the grief, right? And we give ourselves space and time to feel the sadness of what it is that we're feeling. But then there's this really interesting thing which can happen with people once they've burned through the sort of weight of their own mourning or grief or sadness. You get to this reservoir of like uncried tears that those who don't have the ability to watch a live stream or, go see a Reiki practitioner or, do a sound bath, that they can't necessarily cry those tears because there's more important things going on, right? Or more external things going on. So there is a current which is connected to the Buddha, right? Which is a current of universal or worldly sorrow that we can, as empaths and as deeply sensitive water beings, plug into so that we can actually like log 10 minutes to feel the feelings for those who can't feel them themselves, right? So this is a great example of what to do. Ooh, there's our ritual. Cool. Okay, so everybody's going to do a kind of watery thing. Log time to feel feelings for those who can't, in the name of getting them power from deep transformation. Okay, so we're going to come back to that in a second. I'm glad we went into this. So maybe those of you, maybe some of you guys have experienced this before where you're crying and it becomes like a big, wholesome cry. And there's an awareness that these aren't my tears. Where you're like, this is bigger than me. Or like, that's service. That's seva. That's like super, super, super deep service. Okay. And what I wish we could, maybe we could do this, but what I would love to be able to do is have like a world time clock where those of us who have enough balance and calm and stability, right, and the right tools to be able to distinguish between our emotions and someone else's emotions, actually log some time channeling and feeling and crying the emotions for those who can't, right, or laughing those emotions for those who have lost laughter. We'll come back to that ritual in a little bit, but very mergy, very Scorpio, very cool that this came out of the depths. I hope you guys are vibing with this. Finally, earth signs, Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgo. How best to harness this lunation. Wow. I mean, it's just totally different. So we go through all the cups, we come to the earth signs, and we just say, you guys have been doing well these last couple months, better than I expected, stable, because it almost feels like not that much has had to change, and that whatever has changed has been relative to what is actually like locked down and stable for you guys. So this is really cool. I mean, look, there's Liberty. Is that the fucking monument? It's an obelisk. It might actually just be the Washington Monument, but look at that. So cool. Right? Reaching up, lifting up. The Four of Wands, it's called aspiration. It implies a kind of security, but like a dynamic security. So not just a foundation, but sort of like a time-lapse photo of the walls going up from a foundation, right? Being built up, rapid fire from a foundation, from a strong, stable foundation. And what's groovy about this is that it's saying that the best way for you guys to harness this lunation is to not kick the tires. Don't keep questioning your damn self. Like, maybe this is as grounded as you get to feel. And we can, you know, you can get more deeply grounded. But the theory is like, don't postpone your excellence. Don't postpone your pride. Don't postpone affirming yourself and even reaching for more until a time when you feel like more stable. Because in general, it doesn't seem like life really offers mucho opportunities for stability. It seems like we have to fight and claw for those opportunities for stability. And life just keeps dropping these shitstorms on the path that could be shitstorms or could just be wonderful opportunities to create stability out of instability. Theory is y'all have a peaceable, passable approach right now. You're in a good zone. So don't question that and try to stand tall and be proud. And you guys, just the earth signs, Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo, you start thinking about what's next, right? Not what's next, but start thinking about what now. Do you see how cool that is? Remember also always, people have been asking me for like election predictions, and I'm too emotional to give you like a clean election read. I was in a good zone, so something popped through a little while ago that felt like I could confirm that. But the thing that we always have to remember is that no prediction is truly set in stone, and that, you know, all predictions come out of the present moment. So, and all predictions are most dramatically influenced by free will, by choice, right? And so it's a very dicey day to talk about, you know, a sure thing, because everybody has to talk about a prediction because everybody has a choice. Everybody has like a major choice right now. And it's also entirely possible that those choices could be completely fucked over by like demonic forces that want to control American democracy. Now, I don't know who they are or where they are, but like they're there, they're out there. So it's going to be really interesting. And I think this is actually the secret part of it. It's not about what happens tomorrow. It's about actually what is happening now, and tomorrow what's happening now, and the next day what's happening now. What are we doing about this? We can't all just show up on the day of the election or in the month before that and let that be our civic duty. That's the first step. But I think the most important civic duty that we can all do is to heal. Is to work on our shit, is to leave ourselves better than we found ourselves, right? If we all did that, maybe we wouldn't have so many assholes. Love an asshole. Okay, next. Yeah, hope you like those, guys. Those are your readings. Okay, so in terms of ritual, what we're going to urge you to do, we're going to clear this out. So we're going to actually urge you to log a little bit of time weeping and crying for other people. So the whole theory is you create sacred space, get into, I would say do this either tonight really late or tomorrow night so that it's really dark out, because when the moon is new, you can't see it. So I would say like do it when it's dark, right? And the whole theory is to have maybe one little candle, maybe some incense, basically whatever you need to get into a really sacred, sweet space. And then you're going to imagine you're sitting in an elevator that is on top of your head, right? So like little you is sitting in an elevator on top of your head, on top of your head. And when you close your eyes, you're going to set a timer for like 10 minutes, right? And you're going to close your eyes And set the intention to move through and experience any feelings of sadness that are mine. And when sadness / grief, grief? Any feelings that are mine. So we won't even qualify it with sadness and grief. Any feelings that are mine. And then, if appropriate, any feelings that are not mine, in order, as we said, to in the name of getting, or not mine, in order to feel them and transmute them. Okay. In service of all who cannot, who are oppressed or silenced. Wow. So, okay, so I'm gonna write this for you. I'm gonna put this on the website, but basically on the website, on Instagram, everywhere we can. But again, I just want to acknowledge here, the guides are working with us and with you. So normally, this is an empathic practice. This is an practice for empathic transference, for healing. My guides are telling me I don't need to give you the whole background that we usually give to people when prescribing something like this. Usually we only prescribe this for people that are really sensitive empaths with like a Buddhist past, or Buddhist past lives, because they're calibrated to being able to distinguish between their feelings and the other's feelings. But what my guides are saying is that if you're going to do this, it's because you've watched this. So they're with you and they're going to help keep you protected, so that you can either dip into it, or if you're really calibrated to feel others' feelings, maybe you'll dip really far into it and kind of springboard back up. But the whole point here is to empower the understanding that it is possible to offer ourselves, our bodies, and especially our hearts in service of those who can't maybe use them fully. So P.S., once you set that intention, sacred space, candle, incense, whatever you need to feel good and in the zone, do protection if you like, calling your guides, calling your ancestors. But really, this has the energy of showing up to punch a clock and to set the intention that you're going to move through and experience any feelings that are my own, and when and if appropriate, any feelings that are not mine, in order to feel them and transmute them in service of all who cannot, of all who are oppressed or silenced. And then what you're going to do is imagine yourself as you are sitting on top of your head and taking that elevator down into the heart. And just, you don't have to go all the way into the heart. Let it move slowly, kind of through your body, through your being, through your upper centers, through the throat. And as you move through, you may experience things that are your own. And then the theory is as you move into your heart, those feelings will probably get a little stronger. If you breathe really nicely into those feelings, it might make it easier to get at that reservoir of collective emotion, of collective unprocessed feelings. And then you kind of, boom, you can dip into that as you land in the heart. And then basically to come out, you just imagine yourself kind of lifting back up. Or if at any point you feel freaked out, if at any point you don't like what you're feeling, it's too much for you, stop. Don't be overwhelmed. You're not left open and vulnerable. Stop, own your shit, come back to your body, eat something chocolatey or something rich, something that grounds you, something salty, greasy, and then ultimately affirm that you're back in your body and reconnect to your feelings, right? Imagine protection around yourself and reconnect to your feelings. A very simple way. This is just a prophylactic in case anybody gets spun from this because it's too much emotions. What you do is you actually minimize the emotional intensity by calling out things that you like, even just around you. There's a beautiful stained glass ladybug on my window. I like it because even though the light's not shining through it, I can see the sunshine through the tree leaves in the red, and it's really nice. See, so if I was feeling somebody else's really intense emotions, by returning to a simple emotion that is my own, that we can connect. That comes up in our empath activation class, which we teach sometimes. If you've taken it before, you might like it. Yeah. So follow at EdibleSpirit, follow on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Subscribe to the newsletter at ediblespirit.com. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/EdibleSpirit. Share, tell your friends, send this video to people. This will be up at ediblespirit.com/live when the Instagram story is over. That'll be posted for the next 24 hours, but then it'll be up at ediblespirit.com/live. So please send that page, send the video, get the word out there, because we have plans in the work to make it easier for us to connect and vibe about this shit and talk about this shit and really just get into it. I know right now that someone in Canada, someone in Berlin, someone in Orange County, someone in LA, someone from Tennessee, like, we can seriously do this. We can do more than like just take the House of Representatives. We could actually end suffering. I feel like that's a good place to leave it. Not gonna get anything better than that. I love you, beauties. DM, right? Email if you want a private reading, or we teach like Tupperware style classes too. If you ever want to do like a private class, we usually try to have you gather 8 to 10 people, and that's when you gather the class, and then we come and teach it to you. We know like too many interesting esoteric things to put them all on the website, but you can go to ediblespirit.com/workshops, I think it is, events, one of those. Just go fart around on the website, and just know that I do make house calls, and I'm very happy to do things like that. Also to do aura picks at a party or anything like that. But again, the only reason that I care about that is so that we can keep building our community and talking about these things, and so that you guys can take whatever you get from this crazy proposition, which is an Edible Spirit live new moon transmission, and literally fucking repeat it. Take it as your own. It's not copyrighted. It's for you. It's for all of us. It's delicious. So enjoy. Stay connected. Love you so much. Talk to you soon. Ciao, cheery, bye.